The desert air was electric. The crowd of thousands held their breath as a silhouette rose from beneath the stage in a flash of purple and lace. The Queen of Pop had returned to claim her throne. But, well, by the end of the night, the real drama wasn't happening under the spotlights. It was vanishing into the dark. Welcome to Starscope Report.
Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
So we're doing a major deep dive today, sifting through a huge stack of sources.
Oh, yeah.
We've got TMZ reports, statements from the Indio Police Department, reviews in The Guardian, and some truly wild investigations from the pop culture detectives over on Reddit.
The Reddit threads are my favorite part, honestly.
Oh, absolutely. Because today we're unpacking the Coachella backstage chaos that Madonna absolutely does not want you to know about.
Yeah, it's a lot.
We're tracking how this triumphant, historic comeback basically devolved into a vicious internet roasting and then ultimately a baffling midnight heist.
The whiplash of this entire sequence of events is just staggering to me. I mean, in a matter of hours, the cultural narrative shifted from pop music history to fierce debates about live performance, and then straight into an unsolved true crime mystery.
Right. To really understand how surreal this got, we need to go back and look at the environment of weekend 2 of Coachella 2026.
Set the scene.
Okay, so this year's festival was a behemoth. It sold out in under a week.
Which is insane.
Truly. You have these massive headliners drawing unprecedented crowds, Justin Bieber making his big return, Karol G making history as the first Latina artist to headline, and then you have Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah, the Friday night set.
Exactly. Sabrina is headlining April 17th, and she decides to treat her set like an absolute fever dream of pop culture cameos.
It was so chaotic, but in the best way.
Totally. Over the 2 weekends, she's bringing out Will Ferrell dressed as an electrician.
I still don't get that one, but okay.
I know, right? And Samuel L. Jackson doing these dramatic narrations, plus Gina Davis coming out for a full Thelma and Louise tribute.
Oh, and don't forget Terry Crews.
Yes. Terry Crews out there, flexing his chest muscles while singing Vanessa Carlton's 1,000 Miles.
I mean, it was pure theatrical spectacle, basically a variety show mounted on the world's biggest stage.
But I need to ask you about that, actually. Looking at this list of cameos, I'm trying to figure out the underlying strategy. Why is a 26-year-old pop star building her primetime festival set around actors from the 90s and early 2000s? What is the goal there?
Well, it's a highly calculated dual demographic strategy. It speaks directly to how modern festival content is consumed today.
Okay, how so?
On one hand, you're manufacturing intense, viral nostalgia for the millennials in the crowd. You know, the people who actually have the disposable income to buy VIP Coachella passes.
Right, that makes sense.
But more importantly, you are providing these surreal, out-of-context, highly memeable moments for Gen Z on TikTok. When Terry Crews is flexing his pecs to a Vanessa Carlton song, that isn't just a performance. It's a pre-packaged viral video designed to dominate the algorithm for the next 48 hours.
Wow. Yeah. She is basically turning the stage into a content factory.
Exactly.
So the crowd is already completely disoriented in the best way possible by the time Sabrina starts singing her hit song, Juno.
Such a good song.
Right at the song's signature pose moment, the staging opens up. And rising from the floor to absolutely deafening screams is 67-year-old Madonna.
I got chills just watching the live stream, honestly.
It was huge. And she isn't just making a casual cameo. She is wearing the exact same vintage purple corset, the high-heeled lace-up boots, and the matching Gucci jacket that she wore to debut her Confessions album in the Coachella dance tent exactly 20 years ago, back in 2006.
The sheer visual shock of that reveal. I mean, it cannot be overstated. You had people online immediately pointing out that Madonna somehow possessed the exact same physical stamina and aesthetic presence as 26-year-old Sabrina.
It's unbelievable.
But if you look at the historical context, the emotional weight of that specific wardrobe is profound.
Because of the dance tent, right?
Exactly. Back in 2006, pop stars did not play the Coachella dance tent. That was strictly for underground electronic acts. Madonna crashing that tent changed the DNA of the festival forever.
Wow, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so by stepping back into that exact same outfit 2 decades later, she's making a massive statement about longevity. She literally told the crowd it's a full circle moment.
It is a phenomenal visual, but Looking at the timeline of events that night, I'm genuinely skeptical about the motive here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, on the surface, it looks like a beautiful royal coronation, the queen of pop anointing the new pop princess, giving her blessing to the newcomer, much like she did with Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera.
Right.
But after they sing a medley of Vogue and like a prayer, they immediately debut a brand new unreleased track called Bring Your Love.
From the new album.
Exactly. And then Madonna delivers a rather lengthy address plugging her upcoming album, Confessions the Second, which drops on July 3rd. It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
I see where you're going with this.
Was this really a heartfelt passing of the torch, or was this a brilliantly timed, hijack-style PR stunt? Did she just use Sabrina's massive audience to launch her own summer album cycle?
Well, you're touching on the inherent cynicism of the music industry. You do not get to maintain Madonna's level of fame for 40 years without understanding exactly how to command and redirect attention.
That is very true.
Sabrina's set was the hottest ticket of the weekend. By orchestrating this surprise appearance, Madonna practically guaranteed that her new single, which had conveniently dropped earlier that day, would completely dominate the weekend news cycle.
It's brilliant marketing.
It is. However, I'd argue that in Hollywood, these things are rarely mutually exclusive. It can be a calculated marketing masterstroke while simultaneously being a genuine moment of artistic solidarity.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, and Sabrina herself took to social media right after, calling the experience a privilege I'll never forget.
Well, if you're loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead in this deep dive. Because while the crowd in the desert was busy worshiping pop royalty, the internet was already preparing to tear the crown down.
Oh, it got so bad.
And that's not even the wildest part.
The cinematic high of that stage performance evaporated the second the clips hit social media.
It was brutal. As soon as the footage flooded X and TikTok, the roasting began. Fans and critics zeroed in on the audio feed.
Always the audio feed.
They pointed out heavily layered backing tracks and moments where the microphones clearly didn't match the mouth movements. The Blast compiled some of these reactions, and people did not hold back.
What were they saying?
Critics were calling the performance cringeworthy and, excuse my language, bullshit theater crap.
Yikes.
Yeah. One user bluntly posted, "She can't sing, so she has to lip sync." Another pointed out the contrast, writing, "Sabrina is singing over the backing track. Sabrina sounds great. The vocals aren't matching with when the microphone goes to their mouth."
The scrutiny that legacy acts face today is incredibly intense. But it actually highlights a massive cultural shift in how we consume live music.
Exactly. And this is where the internet critics completely lose me. Think about what a modern stadium pop show actually entails.
It's not a small gig.
Right. We are not talking about an acoustic coffeehouse gig where a singer-songwriter sits on a stool with a guitar. We are talking about the equivalent of an Olympic gymnastics routine crossed with a Broadway spectacular.
That is a great way to put it.
You've got intense, relentless choreography, elaborate staging, multiple costume changes, moving platform lifts. If the visual storytelling and the sheer physical athleticism of the performance are the main event, why do we hold a 67-year-old pop star dancing in a corset to the exact same live vocal standard as someone standing perfectly still behind a mic stand?
It's largely because the technology of fandom has changed.
What do you mean by that?
Well, we now have an entire generation of concert goers who have grown up watching TikTok vocal coaches break down isolated microphone feeds.
Oh, that is so true.
Audiences have essentially trained themselves to be hypercritical audio technicians, rather than fans enjoying a spectacle. They expect studio-perfect vocals mixed with maximum physical exertion, which is, biologically speaking, nearly impossible.
That makes perfect sense. We are dissecting the audio so closely that we completely miss the visual art happening right in front of us.
And Madonna actually preemptively answered this exact critique.
She did?
Yeah. In the lead-up to the Confessions 2 album, she released a manifesto outlining her philosophy. She wrote, "People think that dance music is superficial, but they've got it all wrong. The dance floor is not just a place, it's a threshold, a ritualistic space where movement replaces language."
Wow. Movement replaces language.
Exactly. She views raving as an art form about altering consciousness. For Madonna, the physical performance, the movement, the sweat, the visual energy is the art. The language, or in this case, the live vocal purity, is entirely secondary to the ritual of the dance floor.
That entirely recontextualizes the performance.
Mm.
If she is heavily relying on a backing track, she's doing so to prioritize the visual ritual over the audio.
Yes.
Many of her fans were fiercely defending her online using that exact logic, pointing out that the modern pop spectacle simply wouldn't exist without the blueprints she created.
Which is an undeniable fact.
But regardless of the artistic philosophy, the online roasting still created a massive PR headache. The media narrative shifted almost instantly from iconic comeback to cringeworthy lip sync.
It's ironic, really. People were tearing her apart online for the illusion of her performance, but just a few hours later, the physical reality of that performance literally vanished.
Yes, and later in the deep dive, we'll talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming, because this is where the story shifts from a pop culture debate into a midnight heist.
My favorite part.
Let's look at the timeline. The adrenaline of the show has completely worn off. It's now 1:03 in the morning on Saturday, April 18th. We are deep backstage at the Empire Polo Grounds. According to the Indio Police Department, festival staff are loading luggage onto a bus using a golf cart. By the time that golf cart reaches the hotel shortly after, 2 bags are completely missing.
And we aren't talking about bags containing, like, spare microphone cables or makeup wipes.
No. Inside those bags is the exact vintage wardrobe we were just talking about. The iconic purple corset worn in the 2006 Sorry music video, the Gucci jacket, the lace-up boots.
It's gone.
Gone. Vanished into the Coachella night.
Wait, I need you to explain this to me because I am totally lost on the logistics here. How does a billionaire pop star who travels with a massive, highly trained security apparatus just lose heavily guarded archival fashion in a dirt parking lot?
Right. It sounds crazy.
What does a backstage loadout actually look like at 1:30 a.m.?
It is absolute orchestrated chaos. The Empire Polo Grounds is a massive, sprawling expanse of desert. At 1:30 in the morning, you are dealing with exhausted crew members, pitch-black pathways, thousands of heavy road cases, and dozens of different artist camps, all trying to break down their staging simultaneously. So it's basically a war zone of equipment.
Exactly. Golf carts are weaving in and out of pedestrian traffic, ferrying gear to massive tour buses. The security perimeter is tight against the public, sure, but inside that backstage bubble, it is incredibly frenetic. All it takes is one unzipped cargo net or one sharp turn in the dark for a duffel bag to slide off a flatbed.
Okay, the official statement from the Indio Police Department leans heavily into that exact scenario.
Not surprising.
Their spokesperson comes out and says there is no evidence to suggest the bags were intentionally stolen. They claim their preliminary investigation indicates the bags may have fallen off a golf cart operated by staff.
Which is a remarkably definitive conclusion for a police department to draw just hours after the incident.
Right. It completely defies logic. Think of the cultural value of those items. I was thinking about it, and it's like the Mona Lisa falling out of the back of a delivery truck and the guards just shrugging it off.
That is a great comparison.
You don't just drop an irreplaceable, highly recognizable piece of music history into the dirt and not notice. And Madonna's reaction confirms how devastating this loss was.
Oh, she was so upset.
She took to Instagram, clearly heartbroken, and wrote, "This full circle moment hit different until I discovered that the vintage pieces that I wore went missing. These aren't just clothes, they are part of my history." She even mentioned that other archival items from that same 2006 era went missing as well.
The contrast is what makes this so jarring to me. You have this highly controlled, meticulously choreographed fantasy happening on the main stage, backed by millions of dollars, and then a few hours later, the messy, chaotic reality of a festival parking lot completely dismantles it.
And then she does something that is just so bizarrely human. She offers a massive reward and drops an email to us for people to send tips.
Oh my gosh, the email address.
Yes, but it's not some high-end corporate legal contact or a private investigator's secure portal. It's a standard Gmail address, infomaverick2026@gmail.com.
I have to admit, the image of a global icon, a woman who just commanded the attention of hundreds of thousands of people in the desert sitting backstage, refreshing a standard Gmail account, waiting for a ransom note. I mean, it is entirely surreal.
It really is.
It brings the untouchable megastar crashing right back down to the absolute mundanity of everyday life.
The pop culture detectives over on the pop culture chat subreddit certainly thought so. The armchair investigations went absolutely wild.
Oh, I was reading those threads.
The theories are everywhere. You've got people swearing it had to be an inside job, arguing that festival staff or private security knew exactly what was in those specific bags and waited for the perfect moment during the chaotic loadout.
Typical Reddit theory.
Right. Others are blaming the famously overwhelmed festival security, saying a random opportunist just grabbed whatever fell off a cart.
The forums always generate the most entertaining hypotheses, honestly.
My absolute favorite was the Sabrina Carpenter mix-up theory.
Okay, yes, I saw that one.
Multiple users hypothesized that Sabrina's exhausted crew accidentally packed Madonna's bags onto her tour coaches. Because, as they pointed out, Sabrina and Madonna are practically the exact same height and size.
Which is true.
Could you imagine the sheer comedy of Sabrina unpacking back at her house in Los Angeles and finding a priceless 2006 Gucci jacket tucked next to her own feather boas?
It would certainly be the best case scenario, but someone actually working in the touring industry weighed in on that thread and quickly shut it down.
Really? What did they say?
Artists of that caliber have entirely separate, heavily guarded compounds backstage. Their wardrobe teams do not interact, and their luggage is loaded into completely different fleets of vehicles. It is highly unlikely their camps mixed up duffel bags.
Okay, that burst my bubble a little bit.
Sorry, the much more sobering reality brought up on the forums is the celebrity black market.
Right, because stealing this outfit doesn't make any logical sense for an average thief. One user pointed out that a competent tailor could easily replicate the corset for a few $100s. You can't exactly steal the real 2006 Coachella outfit and wear it to the grocery store without being instantly recognized, so why take it?
You take it because there is a highly lucrative, entirely underground market for celebrity memorabilia. These items are often fenced to wealthy, obsessive private collectors who have no intention of ever displaying the items publicly.
That is so creepy to think about.
They just go straight into hidden, climate-controlled vaults, which leaves us with the uncomfortable possibility that this is a highly targeted operation, despite what the local police claim.
Oh.
Someone saw a window of opportunity in the darkness of 1:30 a.m., amidst the exhaustion of the crew, and intentionally stripped a piece of history away.
Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. Because when you step back and look at this entire bizarre sequence of events, the highly orchestrated surprise cameo, the vicious internet backlash over vocal tracks, and the baffling midnight theft of a pop culture artifact, it paints a really strange, fractured picture of what it means to be a megastar in 2026.
It truly does. It demonstrates that fame is a constant, exhausting negotiation between the myth you create on stage and the reality waiting for you in the parking lot.
That is profound.
Well, Madonna attempted to perfectly recreate a moment of triumph from 20 years ago. She succeeded visually, but the modern internet immediately fractured that perfection with intense digital scrutiny. And then, the physical world literally stripped her of the very artifacts she used to build the myth in the first place.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? For all the millions of dollars, the massive security details, the perfectly executed stage choreography, and the carefully curated PR comebacks, a defining piece of a billionaire icon's legacy was ultimately undone by a bumpy golf cart ride in the dark.
It's wild to think about.
Does true control in Hollywood even exist anymore? Or is it all just a shimmering illusion waiting to fall off the back of a cart the second the stage lights go down?
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.